Among the many paths taught by the Buddha, few shine as gently and powerfully as the practice of metta, or loving kindness. It is a practice that softens the heart, dissolves anger, and awakens compassion toward all living beings. In a world driven by competition and comparison, metta meditation offers a quiet revolution, one rooted not in conquest, but in care, not in judgment, but in understanding. Metta, in its simplest meaning, is goodwill, an unselfish wish for the happiness and well-being of others. It is the radiant quality of the heart that wishes safety, peace, and joy for all, without condition or boundary. The term comes from the Pali language and is derived from Metta, meaning friend. Thus, metta is often called the friendly mind. It is a mental attitude that regards every being as a friend in the vast web of existence. The Buddha described metta as one of the Brahmaviharas, or divine abodes, states of mind that lead to peace and liberation. The four Brahmaviharas are loving kindness, metta, compassion, karuna, appreciative joy, mudita, and equanimity, upekkha. Among these, metta serves as the foundation, for from kindness arise both compassion and joy, and through understanding them, equanimity naturally follows. The essence of metta is simple: to cultivate a boundless wish for all beings to be free from suffering and to live in happiness. Yet simplicity does not mean superficiality. It requires patience, intention, and practice. In the beginning, metta may seem like a gentle emotional exercise, but over time it becomes a profound transformation of perception. It changes how the mind relates to itself and to the world. Metta meditation begins by recognizing that goodwill cannot be forced. It must be cultivated. Just as a seed requires soil, water, and sunlight to grow, loving kindness requires awareness, understanding, and steady practice. The mind, often restless or self-centered, must be gently trained to extend warmth beyond its habitual boundaries. Traditionally, metta practice unfolds in stages. The meditation starts with oneself. The reason is simple. A heart that is hostile toward itself cannot offer genuine kindness to others. Therefore, the first step is to generate goodwill toward one's own being, not through pride or indulgence, but through gentle acceptance. This involves silently repeating phrases such as, "May I be safe," "May I be healthy," "May I be peaceful," "May I live with ease." These phrases are not prayers to an external force, but reminders to the mind. They plant the seed of kindness within consciousness. As the mind begins to soften and accept its own imperfections, the inner critic quiets and a space of tenderness emerges. Once this foundation is established, the circle of loving kindness expands outward. The next stage is to direct metta toward a benefactor, someone who has offered guidance, protection, or inspiration. This may be a teacher, a mentor, or any person whose presence evokes gratitude. The heart naturally opens when it recalls kindness received, and that opening becomes the path through which goodwill flows. After the benefactor, metta is extended to friends and loved ones, those whose happiness is already cherished. Then it reaches toward neutral beings, individuals neither liked nor disliked, such as strangers encountered in daily life. The practice challenges the mind's habitual indifference and replaces it with genuine concern for the well-being of all. The most transformative stage comes when loving kindness is directed toward those regarded as enemies or difficult individuals. This step does not mean condoning harmful behavior or forgetting wrongdoing. It means seeing beyond the surface of conflict to the shared human condition beneath. Every being acts from a wish to be free from pain, even when that wish is expressed through ignorance or aggression. When metta is extended even to those who cause harm, the cycle of hatred begins to break. The heart learns to respond with understanding rather than revenge. Finally, the practice culminates in universal metta, the boundless radiance of goodwill extended to all beings without exception. The mind silently repeats phrases such as, "May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free from suffering." At this stage, distinctions fade. The boundaries between self and others dissolve into the vastness of compassion. The heart no longer favors one over another. It simply shines with kindness, like the sun illuminating all without discrimination. In the teachings of the Buddha, metta is not limited to meditation sessions. It is meant to permeate daily life. The cultivation of loving kindness becomes a way of being. In speech, it manifests as gentle words that heal rather than harm. In action, it becomes patience, generosity, and respect for all forms of life. In thought, it transforms judgment into understanding. Metta also holds immense psychological value. Modern science has shown that cultivating compassion and kindness alters the brain's emotional centers, reducing stress and promoting emotional balance. However, the Buddhist path sees these effects as byproducts rather than goals. The true purpose of metta is liberation from the prison of self-centeredness, the realization that happiness is not confined to the individual but shared across all existence. In ordinary experience, the mind tends to divide the world into me and others. It clings to preferences and aversions, liking what brings pleasure and rejecting what brings discomfort. This division breeds fear, resentment, and isolation. Metta dissolves these divisions. It transforms the perception of separation into a recognition of interconnectedness. When the heart truly wishes well for all, the barriers of selfishness fall away. Metta does not deny pain or injustice. Rather, it meets them with wisdom and care. It recognizes that anger cannot heal anger, just as darkness cannot dispel darkness. Only light can do that. Loving kindness becomes that light, steady, patient, and unwavering. Even in the face of cruelty or ignorance, metta remains the gentle force that refuses to harm. The Buddha compared the heart of metta to a mother's love for her only child, tender, protective, and unconditional. This image illustrates the depth of care that metta aspires to embody. Yet unlike attachment, metta is free from clinging. It does not demand affection in return. It does not depend on agreement or approval. It flows naturally from understanding the shared fragility and impermanence of life. In its mature form, metta becomes effortless. It no longer requires repetition or deliberate focus. It becomes the natural fragrance of the awakened heart. A mind grounded in loving kindness cannot harbor hatred, for it sees that harming another is, in essence, harming oneself. Metta meditation also refines mindfulness. When the heart is imbued with goodwill, awareness becomes softer and clearer. Emotional turbulence settles and clarity arises. This clarity allows insight to deepen, revealing the impermanent and interconnected nature of all things. In this way, metta and wisdom grow together, one nourishing the other. In practice, challenges may arise. The mind may resist certain phrases or individuals. Old wounds may surface. In those moments, patience is the greatest ally. Loving kindness cannot be forced upon the heart. It unfolds gradually, like a flower opening to the morning sun. The effort lies not in controlling emotion, but in returning again and again to the intention of goodwill. Each time the mind remembers kindness, the habit of hostility weakens. The fruit of metta is profound peace. When the heart no longer carries ill will, life becomes lighter. Even in difficulty, the mind rests in goodwill. This peace does not depend on external conditions. It is born from the absence of hatred within. Such peace extends outward, influencing others silently, for kindness is contagious. A calm heart brings calm to those around it. Ultimately, metta meditation points beyond emotion to the very nature of being. It reveals that love and kindness are not qualities to be added, but truths to be uncovered. Beneath the surface of fear, resentment, and confusion lies an innate goodness, an unconditioned capacity to care. This goodness, when cultivated, becomes boundless. In the final understanding, metta is not something practiced, it is something remembered. It is the rediscovery of the heart's natural state, unobscured by anger or pride. To live in loving kindness is to live in harmony with the truth of existence, that all beings seek happiness, that all suffer in similar ways, and that all are bound together in the vast fabric of life. Thus, metta meditation is more than a technique. It is a way of seeing, a way of being. It transforms not only the heart that practices it, but also the world that heart touches. When goodwill radiates without condition, enmity finds no ground to stand on. The result is a peace deeper than emotion, a peace born of understanding that love, when freed from attachment and expectation, becomes infinite. This is the path of metta, the cultivation of unconditional loving kindness. It is the quiet art of turning the heart into a refuge of warmth and care. In that refuge, the burdens of anger dissolve, the illusions of separation fade, and the true nature of compassion reveals itself, steady, radiant, and boundless as the open sky.